You've been radiating sexual power for years without knowing it. While you obsess over your appearance in the mirror, something far more potent is already working beneath the surface, an invisible signal that draws people to you before you even speak. The unconscious mind reads energy like a sixth sense, and yours has been broadcasting louder than you think. Most people spend their entire lives unaware of these 7 psychological markers that reveal true magnetism. By the end of this, you'll finally see what everyone else has been responding to all along. Step 1. Your presence speaks before you do. There's a moment that happens in every room you enter, and you've been missing it. Before anyone consciously decides whether they find you attractive, their nervous system has already made the calculation. It happens in less than 3 seconds. Not a judgment of your clothes or your face, but a deep recognition of the energy you carry. And most people are leaking that energy everywhere. Watch someone who's anxious walk into a party. Their movements are jerky. They adjust their shirt 3 times. They scan the room like they're searching for approval. Their psyche is screaming through every gesture, and everyone feels it without knowing why. That person might be physically beautiful, but the signal they're sending is fractured, uncertain, desperate. The unconscious picks up on that immediately and registers it as weakness. Now think about the times you've walked into a space and felt completely grounded in yourself. Maybe you were tired and stopped caring what anyone thought. Maybe you just accomplished something that made you feel solid. In those moments, you weren't performing. You weren't trying to be noticed or liked. You simply existed. And paradoxically, that's when people looked. Because your energy wasn't scattered across the room begging for validation. It was concentrated, quiet, and contained within you. This is what creates presence. Not charisma in the loud sense, but a kind of gravitational pull that comes from inner coherence. When you're not at war with yourself, when you're not mentally rehearsing what to say next or judging yourself in real time, your energy settles into a different frequency. People feel that. They might glance at you and not even know why. Their rational mind hasn't caught up yet, but their body already knows something is different about you. You've experienced this from the other side, too. You've met people who seemed ordinary on paper, but something about them held your attention. They didn't do anything flashy. They just stood there, and you couldn't stop noticing them. That's the power of integrated energy. It doesn't shout. It doesn't need to. It simply is, and that quiet certainty becomes magnetic. The reason you haven't recognized this in yourself is because you're too busy living inside your own thoughts. You don't see the way people's eyes linger half a second longer. You don't notice the shift in someone's posture when you enter their space. But it's happening. Your presence has always been speaking. The question is whether you're finally ready to stop dismissing what it's been saying.
Step 2. You're at ease with your own body. Most people are locked in a silent war with their own flesh. They either shrink into themselves, desperately trying to disappear, or they overcompensate with exaggerated displays that scream insecurity. Both extremes reveal the same internal fracture, a split between who you think you should be and what you actually are. The moment someone walks into a room carrying that conflict, everyone feels it. Not consciously, but somewhere deeper. The energy becomes jagged, uncomfortable, uncertain. When you're truly at ease in your body, something remarkable shifts. Your movements stop being calculated performances. You're not constantly adjusting yourself, checking how you look, or monitoring whether people are watching. There's a fluidity that emerges naturally when your mind stops attacking your physical form. You inhabit your skin like it's home, not a prison you're trying to escape or a trophy you're trying to polish for approval. This isn't about having a perfect physique. It never was. I've seen people with every conventional advantage who still move through space like they're apologizing for existing. And I've seen others who wouldn't fit any magazine standard absolutely command a room because there's no internal resistance. Their body isn't fighting their mind. There's a fundamental yes between the two, and that agreement radiates outward in ways that bypass logic entirely. People will tell you that you seem comfortable, that there's something grounding about being near you. They'll lean in closer during conversations without realizing why. They'll mirror your relaxed posture. They'll feel permission to drop their own masks because you're not wearing one. This is the quiet power of integration. When you stop rejecting yourself, others stop questioning you. The anxiety most people carry about their bodies creates static in every interaction. It's a constant hum of self-consciousness that interferes with genuine connection. But when that noise disappears, when you can simply exist without an ongoing commentary about whether you're enough, the space around you opens up. Attraction flows into that openness because it finally has room to breathe. Your body is not an object requiring constant improvement before you deserve to feel at home in it. It's a living, changing form meant to be experienced from the inside, not obsessed over from the outside. The moment you truly grasp this, not just intellectually but in your bones, you'll notice people responding to you differently. Not because you changed your appearance, but because you stopped fragmenting your presence with doubt. Step 3. People project ideal images onto you quickly. There's a strange pattern you might have noticed but never understood. People decide who you are within moments of meeting you, and their conclusions often have nothing to do with reality. They assign you qualities you never claimed, project entire narratives onto your life, and treat you as if you're somehow different from everyone else, all based on the briefest interaction. This isn't random. When your energy carries a certain frequency, you activate something ancient in the human psyche. Deep within every person lies a template of the ideal, an inner image of the perfect lover, the mysterious stranger, the one who understands them completely. Most people never encounter someone who awakens this template, but when they meet you, something clicks. Their unconscious recognizes a match, and suddenly you're no longer just another person. You've become a living symbol of everything they've been searching for. Watch how people react when they first speak to you. Do they assume you live a certain lifestyle? Do they guess your interests with surprising confidence? Do they seem convinced you're exactly their type, even though you've barely said 10 words? This happens because they're not really seeing you yet. They're seeing their own inner ideal reflected back at them, and you're the mirror making it visible.
The dangerous part is how quickly this intensifies. Someone might meet you once and spend weeks thinking about you. They'll remember details you don't recall sharing. They'll build entire fantasies around a single conversation. And if you're not careful, you'll start believing their projection is the real you, twisting yourself to match their expectations. But here's what makes this a sign of true magnetism. Not everyone projects the same image onto you. Some see you as mysterious and untouchable. Others see you as warm and safe. A few might see you as dangerous or challenging. The content varies, but the intensity stays the same. You're not just liked or disliked, you're felt deeply, almost immediately. This is why attraction to you often feels disproportionate to the actual time spent together. People don't need months to decide you're special. They know within minutes because your presence has triggered something primal in them. The template has been activated, and once that happens, logic takes a back seat. They're no longer evaluating you rationally, they're experiencing you as a living answer to an unconscious question they've carried for years. Step 4. You can hold tension without rushing to escape it. Most people collapse the moment they feel attraction. The second desire stirs, panic follows. They fill silence with nervous chatter, force outcomes that haven't ripened, or retreat before anything real can form. But there's a rare quality that separates those who merely catch attention from those who become unforgettable: the ability to exist inside uncertainty without flinching. Think about the last time you locked eyes with someone across a room. How long did you hold that gaze before looking away? 3 seconds? 5? The tension that built in those brief moments wasn't discomfort, it was alchemical. Something was transforming between you, and most people abort that process because they can't bear the intensity. They mistake the heat for danger when it's actually the birth of something magnetic. This capacity to sit with unresolved energy is what makes certain people intoxicating. When you can feel the pull of desire and not immediately rush to define it, control it, or consummate it, you create a field where attraction can breathe and expand. You're not collapsing into neediness or running from vulnerability. You're simply present with what is, allowing the moment to unfold at its own sacred pace. Consider how you handle conversations where attraction is palpable but unspoken. Do you panic and intellectualize? Do you crack jokes to release the pressure? Or can you stay grounded in your body, maintaining eye contact, letting silence stretch until it becomes meaningful rather than awkward? That extra 5 seconds you don't look away, that pause before you respond, that willingness to let uncertainty linger, these create depth that shallow interactions never touch. This isn't about playing games or manufacturing mystery. It's about genuine emotional strength. When your inner world can contain the fire of desire without being consumed by it, others sense they're dealing with someone fundamentally different. You're not desperate to escape your own feelings or to extract immediate validation. You're anchored in yourself, even while everything inside you is alive with possibility. The unconscious recognizes this immediately. It registers that you won't collapse under emotional weight, that you can hold space for complexity and contradiction. You can want someone and still respect yourself. You can feel vulnerable without becoming helpless. You can be open without being available to just anyone. This creates a gravitational pull that superficial charm can never replicate because it signals something rare in a world addicted to instant resolution, the presence of someone who has truly met themselves in the depths and learned to stay there without fear. Step 5. Your boundaries are clear. Most people think being desirable means always being available, always agreeable, always bending to what others want. They believe that saying no will push people away, so they become shapeless, morphing into whatever they think will make them lovable. But here's what they don't understand. The unconscious mind doesn't respect what it can easily possess.
When you have no boundaries, when you chase people who show disinterest, when you abandon your own values just to be chosen, something fundamental happens. You disappear as a real person. You become a role, a performance, a mirror that reflects only what others want to see. And while that might generate surface-level attention, it cannot sustain genuine attraction because there's no solid self behind the facade. Think about the people who have captivated you most in your life. Were they the ones who dropped everything the moment you showed interest? Were they the ones who molded themselves into whatever you wanted? Or were they the ones who had a clear sense of who they were, what they valued, and what they would not tolerate? The ones who could feel attraction without losing themselves in it? When your boundaries are clear, you're not being cold or playing games, you're being real. You're signaling that your energy has value, that access to your inner world isn't automatic, and that being close to you requires something genuine: effort, honesty, consistency. This creates a psychological weight that shallow connections simply cannot carry. Your refusal to be treated carelessly becomes a statement about your worth. Your ability to walk away from someone who doesn't respect you becomes proof that you belong to yourself first. And paradoxically, this self-possession makes you more attractive, not less, because deep down, people are drawn to those who cannot be easily claimed, who maintain their integrity even when desire is pulling at them. The person who says yes to everything becomes predictable, forgettable. But the person who can say no, who protects their dignity, who refuses to compromise their core from momentary approval, that person becomes magnetic. Their yes actually means something because it wasn't given out of desperation or fear of being alone. This is where most people get it backwards. They think boundaries will create distance, when in reality, boundaries create respect. And respect is the foundation upon which real attraction is built. Without it, you're just another person trying too hard to be liked. With it, you become someone worth pursuing, someone whose presence carries weight, someone whose attention feels earned rather than automatic. Step 6. Your creative energy is alive. There's a specific quality that makes certain people unforgettable, and it has nothing to do with conventional beauty. Watch someone who's fully immersed in what they love. Their eyes light up, their voice changes, their entire body shifts into a different frequency. That's not acting, that's raw life force pouring through them, and everyone in the room feels it, whether they consciously realize it or not.
Most people walk through life half asleep, going through motions, repeating patterns, saying things they don't mean. Their energy feels flat because it is flat. There's no pulse behind their words, no genuine fire driving their actions. They've learned to suppress the very thing that makes them magnetic, that untamed current of enthusiasm and curiosity that once defined them as children. Society taught them to be reasonable, predictable, safe, and in becoming safe, they became invisible. But when that primal energy flows freely through you, everything transforms. The way you speak about ideas suddenly carries weight. Your gestures become more expressive without trying. People find themselves leaning forward when you talk, not because you're performing for them, but because being near you feels like being near something alive and unfiltered. This isn't about being loud or demanding attention. It's about having something real burning inside you that refuses to be contained. Think about the people who've captivated you most in your life. Chances are they weren't always the most physically attractive or socially polished. What grabbed you was their intensity around certain subjects, their willingness to dive deep into what fascinated them, their refusal to play it cool when something genuinely excited them. That vulnerability, that unguarded passion, it's intoxicating because it's rare. This energy doesn't just make you interesting to be around, it fundamentally changes how others perceive your physical presence. When you're lit from within by genuine inspiration, your face becomes more animated, your movements carry purpose, even your voice takes on different colors and textures. The same body that might have seemed ordinary yesterday suddenly becomes compelling because now it's inhabited by someone fully present, fully engaged with being alive.
Here's what most people miss. This isn't something you fake or manufacture. You can't trick someone's unconscious into feeling your aliveness if nothing genuinely moves you. But the moment you stop suppressing what excites you, stop apologizing for your interests, stop dimming yourself to fit in, that's when others start feeling the magnetic pull. They don't always know why they're drawn to you. They just know that being around you makes them feel more awake, more curious, more connected to their own dormant passions. And that feeling? That's the essence of attraction operating at its deepest level. Step 7. You provoke both attraction and resistance. There's something unsettling happening around you that you've probably noticed but never understood. Some people can't stop staring at you, leaning into every word you say, finding excuses to be near you. Yet others, sometimes in the same room, seem oddly cold, defensive, or inexplicably uncomfortable in your presence. You might have convinced yourself you're doing something wrong, that you're too much or not enough, but the truth is far more revealing. When your energy carries a certain intensity, it doesn't just attract people, it forces them to confront themselves. Think about it. The parts of themselves they've buried, the desires they've suppressed, the insecurities they've never resolved, all of it rises to the surface when they encounter someone whose presence is genuinely alive. You become a mirror, and not everyone is ready to look into it. The person who suddenly grows distant after a moment of deep connection isn't rejecting you, they're retreating from what you awakened in them. The one who overreacts to something minor you said isn't being irrational, they're responding to the charge your energy carries, something that touched a nerve they didn't even know was exposed. You're not just another face in the crowd, you're confronting them with possibilities, with hungers, with fears they thought they'd buried successfully. This polarity, this simultaneous pull and push, is one of the clearest signs that your magnetism runs deep. Mediocre energy doesn't provoke anything, it's forgettable. But when someone carries real presence, real coherence, the unconscious mind in others goes into overdrive. Some will be drawn like moths to flame. Others will build walls, sometimes without even understanding why. And here's what makes this so powerful. Even those who resist you can't forget you. Their minds circle back, they replay conversations, they wonder what it was about you that unsettled them so deeply. You haunt them not because you manipulated or chased, but because something in your energy activated a part of their psyche they weren't ready to integrate. This isn't a flaw in you. It's proof that your presence is potent enough to disturb the sleeping patterns in others. You're not here to be comfortable for everyone. You're here to be real. And reality, when it shows up fully embodied, always divides the room. Some will recognize it as what they've been searching for. Others will fear it as what they've been running from. Both responses confirm the same truth. Your energy is no longer invisible. So here's what all of this has been pointing toward. Your attractiveness was never about becoming someone else. It was always about stopping the war inside yourself. Every moment you spend rejecting your body, suppressing your desires, hiding your intensity, or apologizing for taking up space, you fracture your own signal. And people feel that fracture as weakness, as uncertainty, as someone who hasn't yet decided to fully inhabit their own life. But the moment you start integrating those scattered pieces, something shifts. Your energy stops leaking. Your presence becomes coherent. And coherence is what the unconscious mind recognizes as magnetic. Not perfection, not performance, just the rare sight of someone who has stopped fighting themselves. You don't need validation to confirm this. You need awareness. Start noticing the glances, the changed energy when you enter a room, the way certain people become suddenly nervous or unusually open around you. Reality has been giving you feedback for longer than you've been willing to see it. The question was never whether you're attractive. The question is whether you're ready to stop dismissing the evidence and finally step into the power you've been carrying all along. Your unconscious already knows. It's been waiting for your conscious mind to catch up. Stop second-guessing what your presence has already been proving.